I could see that in play, and it also being crazy like it was last week, where it's 35-35 in the first half, because I'm pretty sure Wyoming had the same thought. Is, hey, let's run the football. Let's see what we can do. And all of a sudden, they just started scoring on every single possession. And so there you go.
I was listening to Sean Lewis, who's the San Diego State coach. There was during his coach's show, I ran across it yesterday somewhere, and he was talking about the Lobo offense. And he said, and look, every coach every week will tell you how good the other team is, right? Every coach every week, the opponent is a really good, well-coached football team. There's never been a coach who said, you know what, they're not very good and their coaches are bad. You ever heard that once?
Not publicly.
No, not in a press conference or a coach's show. Every coach, every week, they're a really good, well-coached football team. So all that said, but Sean Lewis was saying, at the beginning of the week on Monday, you do the video breakouts and you're watching, and he says, one of the things we do is we do a session of just their chunk plays, and I might be paraphrasing here, but they're big plays. And I think it's defined as a run of 10 yards or more and a pass of 15 yards or more. He said that was the longest session we've had all year, was watching New Mexico. He says play after play after play. He says they've got playmakers, and he was insanely praiseful, if that's even a word, of what Dampier does and the threat that he is. And he talked about Eli Sanders, but if you go back and hell, they're going to have a hell of a highlight film. Like, no matter where New Mexico ends up, and whether they end up 3-9 or 6-6 or somewhere in between, when they have their banquet and put together their highlight tape, they are going to have a bunch of plays to choose from, because the amount of chunk plays they've gotten is impressive. And so, to your point, that keeps them in football games.
Yeah, the offense has been fantastic. And when you look at the highlight film, it's going to be unbelievable to watch start to finish this season. And you're going to need a couple of those moments to try to pull off something that the odds are stacked against you now, and that's getting 3 more wins to become bowl eligible. But it starts with 1, and you have look back at missed opportunities, and the next miss ends the hopes for bowl eligibility.
Yeah, there's no more margin for error. So, all right, 505-246-0610. We're gonna do 3 for all coming up at 8. Well, I said 8 at 9:30 this morning. 8:30 to me. What your emails, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. When we come back, I'm going to go back into the NFL game last night and the missed calls, what Joe Burrow had to say. You saw the 2-point conversion. Should they have gone to Jamar Chase? I mean, he'd been going to Jamar Chase. We can dissect it all we want. I got more stats. Ned James will tell you why it was the wrong thing to do, why it was the bad, they should have kicked the extra point and then taken their chances in overtime, kind of like, I don't know, Tampa Bay did the other day. So we'll get into all that and what your thoughts on, make your call on who wins tonight. What do you got tonight? You got Lobos against UCLA. You got Lobos against San Diego State. Who you got? Make your call at 505-246-0610. Hey, how's your car looking? After the storm, I'll bet it's going to be looking like, well, I don't know. It looks like after a storm. You're dragging all that snow in. Call On the Spot Automotive Detailing and have them take care of it. I do, and it's one of my favorite things that I do. When On the Spot comes out to me and details my vehicle, it's just wonderful. I love being in my car. Remember when you got the car and it was new and it was detailed and it smelled nice and it was all shiny? And that's what they do. They detail vehicles. That's the car dealers call them and they do that. The beauty of them is a number of things. A, they're really, really good. They were voted best in the city because they're best in the city at what they do. And they come to you. They've got a mobile unit, so you don't have to take your vehicle anywhere, drop it off, get a ride back to work, go back. No. You're busy. They get it. And so whilst you are in your office or in your house or wherever it is you're spending your days, they're out in the parking lot or they're out in the driveway and they detail your vehicle. When they're done, it looks and it feels and it smells like the day you took it off the lot. So have your car professionally detailed, get a fresh coat of wax, and you will love this. That's why they are best in the city. They are the best. And as a thank you to our veterans, On the Spot Automotive Detailing offers a 10% discount to the wonderful men and women who are serving our country and who have served our country. Book today. It's all online. Book and buy at otsdetailing.com. otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What do you got? How you going to watch it tonight? Where are you going to be? How are you going to consume it all? It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. It's a Lobo day, man. I mean, this is your Cherry Friday, if there ever was one. I know they're on the road. The Lobo football at San Diego State. Lobo basketball plays UCLA tonight on the men's side. The Lobo ladies were winners last night. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. All right, last night, Thursday Night Football ends in a little bit of controversy. There was a 2-point conversion. The Bengals trying to take the lead on the Ravens. The play was unsuccessful. Replay shows it. Kirk Herbstreit's like, well, that's a penalty. There were 2 penalties. Joe Burrow, you would think, has earned those calls. JJ, we talk about stars getting calls all the time. Right? Basketball stars get calls. Joe Burrow was pretty emotionless when he did not get the penalty called when he got hit in the head. There should have been a roughing the passer penalty. There should have been a defensive holding penalty. So here's the way it went. 38 seconds to go. Burrow throws another touchdown pass to Jamar Chase, who had 3 touchdowns and 264 yards yesterday. That's right. 3 touchdowns and 264 yards. So it cuts the lead to 35-34 with 38 seconds to go. Bengals keep the offense on the field. They go for a 2-point try. Joe Burrow throws a pass to Tanner Hudson. It falls incomplete, and pretty much ball game. The replays show, and pretty clearly, that there were 2 potential penalties. Mike Gesicki, the tight end for the Bengals, was held trying to run his route. He was held. And after Burrow threw the ball, he was hit in the face mask by Travis Jones, a defensive tackle. Now, was it an egregious hit in the face? It was not. But was it one that typically draws a penalty? It was absolutely that. Joe Burrow told reporters after the game he doesn't expect to get those calls. Quote, I just sailed it a little bit. We knew what situation we were in. You're not getting those calls in that situation for the most part. I feel like I've never really gotten those calls. So I don't really expect that. I feel like there were a couple that were close, but I don't really expect those. End quote. That dude's earned those calls, hasn't he? First of all, anybody's earned those calls because they're penalties. But that dude should be getting that call in that situation, shouldn't he?
Yes, late hit on a quarterback, smashing a quarterback in the helmet, regardless of who you are. Those are penalties that should be called. Trying to protect the quarterback in this league. Burrow took a lot of hits. He was under pressure all game long. Mm-hmm. But the Ravens are playing up to that line, and they got away with it in the end.
Now, what's happened to the Ravens defense? Ravens have been built on defense. They're now outscoring teams to win. It's a different Ravens team. And look, they may win this way, but they're outscoring teams. I look at it, and it's, Let me put it this way. The Bengals weren't robbed of the game. They're robbed of a chance. And I'm going to give you this conversation that we had earlier, and I know the audience turns over on a regular basis. And Ned James, who JJ and I both respect a lot, said that the right play there was to kick it and go to overtime. And I said last night I thought they weren't going to stop Lamar. Lamar Jackson had 3 touchdown passes and 197 yards in the fourth quarter. They did not stop him. And I said, I'd have done the same thing because they weren't stopping him. And Ned said a lot of people believe that, but it's really difficult to convert a 2-point conversion in the NFL. The play is to kick most of the time. Lamar's not the best passer. Make him march the length of the field in overtime. Kickers win games. He said of the 12 possessions, JJ, in the game, less than half of those possessions of a team result in a touchdown. So the odds of scoring a touchdown in overtime is less than 50%. Odds are a kick will often determine the game. Like, odds are odds, but doesn't personnel, doesn't situation sway odds a bit? So, yeah, if you want to tell me the odds with Daniel Jones out there or Trevor Lawrence or pick your quarterback are 50%, do I really want to take that chance of losing a coin toss and putting it in Lamar's hands when I haven't stopped him, literally haven't stopped him? My defense is tired. Where do you play the odds, right? And I know young coaches, and it's not just young coaches. I think all coaches now are analytics, odds. What's the sheet tell you? What? I appreciate what Ned says. I still think he made the right call. Still lost the game.
I think the call there was he trusted his defense enough that if they were up 1 point, they could make 1 or 2 plays to win that game in the final seconds, as opposed to going to overtime and having it be up in the air with a coin toss either way. So I think what Zach Taylor was seeing in that moment was a defense that gave up 28 points, and that is the most points scored in the second half by any team so far this season. The game right there where it's 1 or 2 defensive plays, you can win it in the end versus having to stop a drive in overtime. And then the fate of the coin toss, that's 50-50. So if you win, you believe, hey, we can go right down the field and score. But if Jacksonville wins, I think it's I think we can make 1 or 2 plays here versus 4 in a row.
Yeah, I think all of that's right. Zach Taylor, who is the coach of the Bengals, defended this, and I think he was right to do so. He could have, everything you said, and his answer was really simple. He said, came here to win. He said, we got to find a way to close out games. We had an opportunity. We went down there, went for 2. It just didn't work out for us. This team's going to keep putting us in good positions, and there's going to be a point in the season where that turns. They're 4-6 now. They get the Chargers next Sunday, and then they go into their bye week. I mean, I don't know what you want the man to tell you. He made a decision, it didn't work. And I will rest on this, and I said it earlier. It's a good decision when it works, right? You had a coach earlier in the week, Monday Night Football, Todd Bowles, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Same situation. Up against the Chiefs, they scored late. They went for 1. Kicked the extra point, went to overtime, lost the coin toss, never saw the ball.
But that's also why I don't want to just overly kill Todd Bowles for that decision either. I think if you kick it to tie it, go to overtime, you're saying, hey, I believe in my team. We need to go make a play. And then I'm okay with both decisions. I am. Because it comes down to we are going to react a certain way when it doesn't work because you have to, because it didn't work. So you react to it. But I don't think the Todd Bowles one was some outrageous, he shouldn't be a head coach decision.
No, I agree with that. I said in the moment I would have gone for 2 there too. Or also, right? I got Patrick Mahomes on the other side. My defense is exhausted. What makes me think I'm stopping Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce at that point? I think it's situational. I understand the numbers. And I think who's on the other side matters. Right? I do. If you're going to tell me I'm up against, I don't know, I don't want to diss anybody, but if it's overtime and I'm playing the Saints, or if I'm playing the Colts or the Titans or the Browns, but I think when it's Joe Burrow, I'm sorry, when it's Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes, I think it does matter. Don't you think? Would you make a different decision if you were up against Mahomes as opposed to maybe Derek Carr?
Yeah, that's stuff that factors into what you do with the game on the line.
Yeah, I think all of that matters. All right, 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sports@WBQ.com. Did you want me to go to the phones?
There is no one on the phone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you went there. I apologize. I think situation matters. And in that situation, again, you and Ned can talk about it for hours tonight. You guys can solve the problems of the world, but again, and I don't think you're going to sway him, and I don't think he's going to sway you, by the way. I think that's just the way it's going to be. All right, Trevor Lawrence, unlikely to play against the Vikings. Mac Jones will be your starter. He's got a left shoulder injury, and this morning, Doug Peterson, the coach, said it's trending towards him not playing. So Mac Jones, the former first-round pick of the New England Patriots, who they got in March, would start against the Vikings. This is interesting, dude. And look, I don't think this happens. I really don't. What if Mac Jones has a day and they beat a really good team?
And then you feel good that Mac Jones is your backup quarterback.
Right? But the chatter gets loud.
No.
People need to understand there's nowhere to go.
Lawrence, man.
Right.
These contracts are not just because you're upset and the dude might be performing below expectations. A game for Mac Jones does not mean I want him over Trevor Lawrence. And you're eating dead cat money for how many years versus still believing in the talent of Trevor Lawrence.
I agree with that 1,000%. And social media doesn't give a crap, right?
And that's why social media is not coaching anything but a Yaffle.
Thank goodness. They're a fantasy football team. Yeah.
Probably not even making it in Yaffle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those guys care.
You better understand who asked us earlier today, about Trevor Lawrence, what happens? Or it was an email I got. Like
this is a different level of, and this isn't Russell Wilson at the end. Like there's still a lot of ground for Trevor Lawrence in this league.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think he's still going to be good. I really do. But this is a guy like you just signed. It's like you just signed Dak. He's your dude. I don't care how many games Cooper Rush goes out and wins or doesn't win. Dak's your guy. You just signed a guy. You just committed to him. Everybody's screaming, sign the quarterbacks, sign the quarterbacks. You got to lock up the quarterbacks. Okay. But when you do, that's your dude for the next 4 or 5 years. Ask the Cleveland Browns. I mean, is there a better or worse, you decide which way it is, example of that than the Cleveland Browns?
And I look at Jacksonville a lot like the Chargers in this. It's, for some reason, you got Doug Peterson in there, who's an offensive guy that won a Super Bowl, and it's just not clicking. But I look at Trevor Lawrence the same way I looked at Justin Herbert this whole time. I'm like, there's no way I'm moving off this guy. Like, there's no way that you're going to be better off with the next quarterback immediately. It just hasn't clicked. And when it does, I think Trevor Lawrence has that upside of a dude that can win you a lot of football games in this league.
Okay. 3 for all when we get back. How not to bet. It's really hard. We're going to pick 3 games off the NFL schedule. We're not very good at it. You've got the overall records. I don't. But they're not very good. So just like if you were going to go into a book and pick 3 games, not, hey, you got to pick this one. That's what we'll do when we get back. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
They fired their coach. I don't know how. They're not stopping, and I don't like them at home. I got a Falcons team going in there that's in first place, got a lot to play for against who's playing quarterback for the Saints. So maybe Derek Carr's back. I'll take the Falcons. I'll lay 3.5 on the road at New Orleans.
Well, it is Derek Carr, but I agree with you that the Falcons are in a very good spot on the road there. My first one is I'm riding the momentum. Detroit, 3.5-point favorites. I'm taking them in Houston over the Texans. The challenges that Houston has had offensively in the past game, and then protecting C.J. Stroud. So I think the Lions keep on rolling.
All right. Can I beat another dead horse here?
Let's do it.
I'm going to take, and this is against everything we should do, but I see a big number. I usually jump on the other side, but I'm laying 7.5, Philadelphia at Dallas. Dallas feels so defeated to me, and I don't, Cooper Rush, maybe it gives him a spark, maybe it turns it around, but I think Philly's playing well. I know it's a big number. I know Philly doesn't win by a lot, but I first of all, I look at the trends at Dallas at home. They've been getting smoked at home this year. I understand that it closed. The Ravens, it was a 3-point game. That wasn't nearly that close. The Lions went in there and ran them out of their own build. They've been horrible at home. I'm going to lay 7.5. I'll take the Eagles.
My next one is going over/under, and I'm taking the over in Kansas City between the Chiefs and the Broncos. It's 41.5 points, and I'm taking over that total.
All right. What's your last one?
My last one, I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers, plus 2.5 at the Commanders.
That's a hard one for me. I mean, I looked at that a lot, and okay, I like it. Arizona, 1.5. They're home dogs. Why am I supposed to believe the Jets are going to get better? They're all of a sudden, oh, look, the Jets are favorites. They're going across the country playing a team that's good because the Jets won a game. I'm not buying into it. I like the way Arizona's playing. I even like the way they're playing defensively.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I'll take Arizona plus 1.5 at home against the New York Jets.
I think the Steelers-Commanders is going to be just an awesome game because it's the really first big challenge for both these teams.
Okay. No, that's good. All right. So we're both hovering right around the same mark, which is kind of where people are, right? Right around the 500 mark. So JJ has got the Steelers, the Lions, and over in the Kansas City-Denver game. I got Atlanta minus 3.5 against New Orleans, Philly minus 7.5 against Dallas, and Arizona plus 1.5 against the Jets. Tell me why I'm supposed to think the Jets are going to go in there and win. Their defense is so good. Their defense.
It's the up and down nature of the Cardinals themselves.
Fair.
That this is an Arizona team we've seen step up and play big moments. And I think this is actually an Arizona team that is not getting the credit they deserve.
I agree.
You really start to dive into how they've played, who they've played. Like the losses, it was a touchdown loss to the Lions. That was it. They lost to the Bills in an opener where they scored 28 points. They've got blued out by the Commanders. Now that game got away from them, but talking about they had a game-winning drive on the road in San Francisco, a game-winning drive on the road against the Dolphins. They have a couple lopsided losses, but I don't expect the Jets to be a lopsided opponent.
They've won 4 of their last 5. They're 5-4. They're at home. They're playing well. Their quarterback's playing better. They're starting to get their stud rookie receiver involved. Their defense has given up 9, 27, 15 over the last few weeks. I like them. I told you in April, man. Right after the draft, I told you I like what they're doing. I told you, give me a surprise team to, kind of come literally, and this was out of nowhere, right? I was on them super early. Now they haven't done anything yet. They're in first place early in or midway through a season. But that was some. I remember coming back from there and listening, drinking the Kool-Aid when I was listening to some Phoenix Talks radio and just going, all right, I'm listening. And I
every once in a while, I think we hit 2 this year. So,
who was the other one?
I was on Washington.
Yeah, you were.
But they were just teams that they set up well offensively. I thought the Commanders were probably more in the Arizona territory than legit conversation of can this team go to the NFC title game. But here we are.
Yeah. All right. This is Friday morning. Tampa Bay's injury report. Baker Mayfield dealing with a toe injury. He did not practice to start the week. On Wednesday, he's a little sore. Kyle Trask is their backup. Is there a chance that Baker Mayfield does not go in San Francisco this week?
I think it's really small. It's probably just more about maintenance. The same reason, I know it's a short week, but Lamar Jackson didn't practice, and I think with Baker Mayfield and all the challenges of Tampa Bay, you're just giving him as much rest as possible because, again, you're going to need Baker out there slinging it, chasing that game against the 49ers.
What's that spread? Niners by 6.5. You can get the Buccaneers if you want them as a 6.5 point home dog. Normally I'd buy that, but with a banged up Baker and his top 2 receivers down, like his best receiver now is Cade Otton, right? It's his tight end.
Cade Otton show.
I mean, there was a lot of that going on. Yeah, there was a lot of that going on. All right, you got interesting stuff this week. You get an early game in Germany, Giants and Panthers, 7:30 in the morning. That'll be an NFL Network game, and then you get it going. Patriots, Bears, Bills, Colts, Broncos, Chiefs. It's a thing. I almost bid on the 7.5, and I can I tell you the other one I didn't go with. I like the Panthers plus 6.5 against the Giants. I just feel like it's a big number.
It's a big number for the Giants who don't score a lot of points.
Right.
And the Panthers actually showed up and played a nice football game last week, beat the New Orleans Saints. We're not having this discussion like Bryce Young shouldn't be throwing the football. But so this is one where if the Panthers beat the Giants is Daboll on the hot seat.
Well, I think he already is.
You need to find a flight home from Germany.
You keep firing guys coming back from Europe? I mean, just don't go to Europe and lose or you get fired. I mean, that job's going to open, right? Daboll was the hot thing. He won Coach of the Year. They won 1 playoff game. They beat the Vikings on the road. Daboll won Coach of the Year. Daniel Jones got paid $40 million a year off of that thing. They've done nothing since that day in Minnesota. Literally.
They didn't make the wrong decision. I thought at that point in time you saw it, you'd go out there, win a road playoff game. It's a cheap contract now for a quarterback, but it's still a guy that you thought with Brian Daboll was going to be able to build off that, and it's just been the Daniel Jones that leaves you wanting a whole lot more.
Yeah.
But I'm firing him up in fantasy football because he can run, and they should at least score some on the Panthers.
Doesn't matter. I'm playing against Jamar Chase anyway. I'm done.
We're off to week 11.
Yeah. Jeff said, good morning. Listen to conversation. I would have gone for the 2 points for one reason last night in the Bengals-Ravens game. They were 3-5 and need a win. Actually, they were 4-5. If you're leading the division, playing for playoff positions, then take the chance in overtime. Hell, if they don't sign Trevor Lawrence, if I was the Raiders, I would. They've already signed Trevor Lawrence. Like, Trevor Lawrence is going nowhere. Trevor Lawrence is the Jags quarterback. They paid him $50-something million a year. I think you're in the first year of that extension. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is not going to be on the market. I think the guy who's going to be on the market is Doug Peterson, and they're going to have a new coach there. And I think that's a real potential landing spot for Bill Belichick.
I do agree with that. And with these quarterbacks, it doesn't mean that they don't deserve blame. It doesn't mean that they don't have to rise to the occasion and take accountability. It just means that you can't have it, like, you can throw it out there, but it's not a meaningful discussion. You know, it was the same thing earlier this year with Justin Herbert. Like, well, I don't know if he's the guy. Are they going to go with him? It's like, the talent is there. Yes, you're paying this dude a bunch of money, but you're going to be paying quarterbacks money in this league. So figure it out. Find the right person to come in. And Doug Peterson seemed like the right dude. But there's a disconnect where there is a lot of talent on that roster. They have a lot of high picks on both sides of the football that they've invested in, and they're coming up well short. And I think Bill Belichick would be a fascinating addition to a roster like that, because you do have an owner that is going to meddle in absolutely everything. He likes to play games in London, England all the time. But other than that, you need to find a different level of focus for the Jaguars.
All right, we'll come back, wrap it up. Everything you got to know as you go into the weekend. It's a big weekend around here. So we still have time for you to get in at 505-246-0610. It is the opening drive. Thank you for being with us on this Friday morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing.
Red. Weekdays from 4 till 7 on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
What do you got to know as you go through your Friday? What's everybody going to be talking about? It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck, thank you for being with us today and every day here on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. Thursday Night Football last night. Ravens beat the Bengals 35-34. It was a good one, man. Bengals scored in the last minute, went for 2. The conversion was unsuccessful. However, there were 2 potential penalties on it, a defensive holding and a hit to the head of the quarterback. Neither were flagged, and the Ravens get out with the win. Lamar Jackson threw for 197 yards and 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter alone. Jamar Chase, Bengals receiver, 11 catches, 264 yards and 3 touchdowns. Hope he was on your fantasy football team. Tonight, got a lot going on here. Actually, let's go to yesterday first. Women, Lobo women's basketball. Ladies beat Moorhead 66-56. Vienna Cumber, 23 points, 12 rebounds for New Mexico's first victory of the season. Lobo hoops tonight. So I know normally you get your basketball over on News Radio KKOB. Your Lobo basketball against UCLA tonight here on The Sports Animal. 8:30 pregame. 9 o'clock is the scheduled tip from Henderson, Nevada at the Lee Family Forum. Lobos and 22nd ranked UCLA. Don't forget, following the game right here on The Sports Animal, Lobo Live with Kenny Thomas. Meanwhile, over on News Radio KKOB, Lobo football tonight. San Diego State is where they are. Lobos at Aztecs, 7:30 pregame, 8:30 tip. So it is a big, big night. Tomorrow, New Mexico United out at the ball pitch. They play the Western Conference semifinal. Las Vegas Lights are in town. And so you got a big weekend of sports and a lot to do. And you get the state cross-country championship tomorrow, if that's your thing. And watch Gianna Raymer go for another championship as a freshman. I say another. She won one as an eighth
Another
grader.
one.
She's unbelievable, man. She's honestly my favorite high school story in a long, long time. Text line, JJ, it says, regarding the Friday Ho Bros, we need to get back to the excited hoes, not the lazy, long-winded hoes. Hoes matter. Fair enough, dude. I'm in a hotel, and I didn't want to wake everybody up. And, the road hoes are hard, JJ.
At least you got a hoe.
Fair enough. But morning road hoes, just saying.
They're hard. You're in a hotel room.
I mean, you've been here.
Been
Were you
there,
going to be at Lubbock on Tuesday?
Yep.
This place is pretty nice. I'm not going to lie. I mean, they did all right on this one. And I hear the building in which the Lobos are going to play at Lee's Family Forum, where they're undefeated, is New Mexico. Is a pretty nice spot right down the street here. All right, who you got today? Lobos and UCLA. It's hard to pick the Lobos, I know, because you saw them and it was a little bit uninspiring in the opener, right?
The Lobos will come out 1-1.
Okay.
Some combination.
Of football and basketball tonight. I think that's fair. I mean, basketball and football, one wins, one loses, but okay. Because I know I asked you earlier, better, are they going to go 0-2, 1-1, or 2-0? And so you're saying 1-1. I think that's fair. I'm excited to see Lobo men's basketball tonight. I really am looking forward to seeing what they look like, and can they control pace against a really athletic and highly defensive UCLA basketball team. UCLA's got a bunch of transfers, a bunch of length, a bunch of athleticism, like everything you would expect a UCLA team to be. But they're in large respect like you. They're new. They've got a lot of new pieces, 4 new starters. Let's see. But I think this will be a nice litmus test for them tonight. United against Las Vegas. What happens there? United haven't been playing incredibly well. They got through last week with a one goal win, 2-1 over Phoenix. You like them tomorrow?
I do. I think that New Mexico will be hosting a USL Conference Championship game.
That'd be a big deal. That'd be a really, really big deal for them if they can get through. So go out, and it looks like the snow's getting out of here. It's just going to be clear and cold.
Just cold,
tomorrow, right?
Very cold.
Yeah. Is the snow still? Is it still snowing?
Not in Albuquerque.
Was it snowing this morning coming in?
It had some. No.
Okay.
It's clear and cold in the city, and dealing now with the issues all around the state.
Yeah, no. What a storm! I mean, with the high pressure behind it and in front of it, it had nowhere to go, and so it just sat over the state. It dumped a lot of. It's going to be an early ski season, though.
Yeah, they're opening up Sandia this weekend.
Is that right? Sandia's open up?
Yeah. Now it's pretty much just for experienced skiers only, because it's like non-manicured runs. There's like one chairlift open, so if you're hardcore skier, you got 2 opportunities to go skiing.
That's really cool. Hey, this just happened 11 minutes ago. Yankees, and this may surprise a lot of people, Yankees have picked up Aaron Boone's option to manage the Yankees for the 2025 season, so he will be there at least one more year. They won the American League. They went to the World Series, and boy, I mean, Yankee fan, this is that guy. Does it almost feel like Dave Roberts with the Dodgers until they won?
Yes, it does. Yes,
Right?
I was going to say the same exact thing.
Like I understand there's a standard, and the standard is you've got to win the World Series or the guy's an idiot. And every Yankee fan tells me he's an idiot, and I don't think he's an idiot. And neither did Brian Cashman ownership, so he'll be back. So there's your breaking news this morning. All right, Adrian, good stuff on the visuals. Thank you for a week's worth of great work. JJ, sorry about the hiccup at the top, but thanks for making this happen.
No one even noticed.
Big weekend for you?
Huge.
All right, enjoy it. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is in at 4 o'clock. You get Lobo basketball from Henderson, Nevada against UCLA tonight here on the Sports Animal at 8:30. Lobo Live with Kenny Thomas after that. We're back Monday morning with award-winning radio. Boys and girls, have a great, safe weekend. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you Monday.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oakey. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this,